Now, as you may have heard in the national news, the government has announced plans for directly elected police commissioners. Critics say it ends a long tradition of keeping politics and policing separate.
The new Chief Constable of Cambridgeshire has been in the job since September. In a wide-ranging interview earlier this afternoon, he told me about his ideas for the future, but first his thoughts on getting a police commissioner.
I've got no problem with being democratically accountable. I never have had. Whether it's the police authority or to a police commissioner is absolutely fine. I've got no quarrel with what a government says they want to do in that area. My only concern is whether one person can listen properly to all the different communities. And certainly in a relatively small force like Cambridgeshire, I think it'll be a challenge. In some of the bigger geographic forces around the country, or some of the more densely populated urban ones, I think it's a heck of a job for someone to take on.
Potentially this person will be able to hire and fire a chief constable.
I don't have a problem as long as there's a proper process, as there is with any other walk of life. If somebody's not performing or their conduct is such that they shouldn't be doing the job, then I think that's the ultimate accountability in public service, and that's fine. I fully accept that. I would just want to be sure that it was being done, whether it's me or anyone else, for reasons of either performance or conduct and not for anything else.
If we can move on to your predecessor, when she was talking about the proposed cuts to the police force, or the possible cuts to the police force, she said that we could be heading for Armageddon. Do you agree with that?
I think that what Julie was saying reflects a view that if you carry on doing things in the way you've always done them and then try and take 20% out of that, then you would find it impossible, and your policing service as you are currently delivering it would probably collapse. But we're not trying to do that.
Your colleague at Thames Valley Police has said today it could mean a 10% reduction in the workforce.
If Sarah Thornton thinks that that's what might have to happen in Thames Valley, then she's absolutely entitled to say so. Our plans in Cambridgeshire don't involve losing as many staff as that, and we want to try and do everything we can, working with other police forces and local county council and district council partners, to keep as many people out on the street working for the people of Cambridgeshire as we possibly can.
You've said on your website that difficult decisions will be necessary, but that presents opportunities. What opportunities do you think it does present?
I think it allows us to look at the way we deliver our service. Now, in an emergency, I think the public have a right to expect us to come running, and we will protect that above all else. But once you get beyond the emergency and you start to get into the area of business where we meet people by appointment, I think there's a much more intelligent way we can get by delivering that service differently. If you need to see a doctor, very few times does a doctor come to your house. People are already prepared to say, OK, well, I'll fit an appointment in at a time that's convenient to me. And I think we can learn a lot from the way that appointment system works with your GP.
You're accepting that changes have to be made. Can you tell me how many frontline officers you're going to lose?
I can't at the moment, and it may be that we don't need to lose any in the next year or so. We're discussing at the moment whether, in fact, we need to recruit over the next 5 to 6 months to keep our numbers up to the budget that we know we can guarantee for the next 18 months.
Are you a hug-a-hoodie type of Chief Constable, or are you the type of Chief Constable that says if you're committing crime in Cambridgeshire, bring an overnight bag because we're going to get you and we're going to lock you up?
Well, my message has been, ever since the day I came here, and the very first thing I said to the media was that I want to ensure we transfer the fear of crime from the public back to the criminal. What you wear has got nothing to do with whether you're a criminal or not. Whether you choose to put a hood up and keep your head warm is no interest to me. I've got a line which says if you stay our side of the line and you're a responsible, respectable member of society, that's fine. And if you need some help, we'll look after you. But if you cross that line and you start committing offences, or you start becoming a nuisance and a harassment to your neighbours, then watch out, because we will come for you, as will our council partners.
Chief Constable, thank you very much.
OK, thank you.
Now, in the village of Coggeshall in Essex, the Christmas tree has been in the same place for the last 25 years. Everything was going very well until this year.
This year, there's been rather more fuss and rather more paperwork, as Richard Daniel reports.
Like most communities, Coggeshall is gearing up for Christmas. And for 25 years, the village Christmas tree has formed the centrepiece of celebrations. There's never been a problem. Until this year, when organisers were told, you need a licence.
The Chamber of Trade was told it must provide a map of the position of the tree, a map of the position of the lights, a map of the road closures and the diversions, a copy of letters that will be sent to residents affected by the closures, a copy of the public liability insurance. Oh, and not to forget, a risk assessment for erecting the tree and the lights, all 32 pages. Total cost £176.25.
Hazard here is inhalation of dust particles, serious severity, there's probable likelihood.
It was down to Peter Farmer to persevere. It took 4 months to get the licence.
Well, it is balmy and quite unnecessary, a whole load of red tape and bureaucracy for something that really is not going to affect anybody else.
It's left villagers baffled. The risk assessment was done by a company based not in Essex, but Devon.
They came, they went, we paid.
Essex County Council today said every town that wants to put a Christmas tree up needs a licence. It's always been the case. Coggeshall never obtained one in the past. The licence has now been granted. It stipulates there must be cones around the tree. The good people of Coggeshall say they'll comply. Richard Daniel, BBC Look East, Coggeshall.
They came, they went, we paid.
That's a great story, isn't it?
Have you got your tree?
I haven't got my tree. Christmas is rather snuck up on me. What about you?
I think it's sneaking up on everybody. No, we always get it. We'll get it a week on Sunday, I think. It's about 10 days.
Have you decided exactly where you're putting your lights? Like
well, I'm going to get somebody in, and I'm going to form as well a hazard assessment form, just so we don't have any problems.
Be careful of the inhalation. Let's get the weather. Lots more snow on the way, isn't there?
Well, there is some more snow on the way. Essex so far has borne the...
Thanks a lot, Alex. That's all from us tonight, isn't it?
We'll end tonight with some of the terrific photographs of the snow taken by you. Please keep them coming. We want to see as many as we can. The music is lovely. I think it's by Brahms. No, it's by Liszt. I'm sorry. From all of us here. Good night.
Goodbye.
Hollywood